Well, after having a look around the fashion galleries, we decided we needed a cup of tea, and into the cafe we went, which is a very nice place. They provide you with a nice book to look through of all the galleries, some beautiful photographs, and also a tablet with headphones and a video description of the galleries, the fashion galleries, that is. You can also buy small items of like souvenirs and books and various other things. Well, after our cuppa, we went out into the large area. This magnificent fireplace, amazing. We were making our way to one of the other exhibition rooms where there's various items of interest. There were a small party of disabled people enjoying themselves. Now, this area covers all sorts of items of interest, and I thought we'd have a look around these cabinets before we went into the Duke of Wellington Regiment Museum. Unfortunately, as I mentioned before, you can't really get good views in glass cabinets due to the reflections. And the old bush radio. Not sure whether that could be a Boy Scout outfit. There's a magic lantern. Fascinating items to have a look at. Well, this is one magnificent fireplace. Imagine that in your front room. Well, lots of familiar items here. Blimey, who remembers bile beans? I remember these type of money boxes were made of steel. I used to have one of these when I was a nipper in the 50s, and I had one that was nearly full, and I remember spending hours with a hammer trying to open it until I got caught by my mother, and that didn't go down too well.
Right truncheons are them. Blimey. Don't argue with them when a policeman had one of them in his hand. Nerland spell. Tradition which is still going. Now we have these in the workshop.
Yeah. Deep brown tinge, you can stop better. Are you family like me, so much you?
Yeah.
Here we see some Stone Age axes. Very interesting. I'm not sure whether these are local found or what. I believe a lot of these have been locally found. Bronze Age axes there. Well, that was an amazing and interesting collection of items in this room. I thoroughly enjoyed looking in these cases. Certainly a variety of items to look at. And the late Queen plate there, and the old King. Well, that was it for this gallery. It was onward to the Duke of Wellington Regiment display, which I was looking forward to, as I'm very interested in all things military. On the 6th of June 2006, the Dukes were amalgamated with the Prince of Wales' own Regiment of Yorkshire and the Green Howards to form, respectively, the 1st, 2nd and 3rd Battalion of the Yorkshire Regiment. And the museum tells the stories of the soldiers who served using their own words. The first Duke of Wellington was the Colonel of the 33rd from 1806 to 1812, and after his death, the regiment was renamed in his honour. It's the only regiment to be named after a person not of the royal blood. The museum includes displays relating both to the Duke and the long and distinguished history of the regiment. And there's his uniform and hat and boots and various other items which belong to the Duke. His sword there. Incidentally, he was nicknamed Hooky by his soldiers on account of his nose. By the way, wellies were named after the Duke of Wellington, who had them made by asking his shoemaker to modify another type of military boot called a Hessian boot. They were considered hard wearing for battle and still comfortable enough for the evening. The boot was called the Wellington and has been known that way ever since. Quite a unique collection of historical items, I think.
Oh, yeah, the Peninsular flag there, look, is it? Peninsula? On the colours.
If you don't know, the Duke is famous for the Battle of Waterloo, which he won, and was fought on the 18th of June 1815 between Napoleon's French army and a coalition led by the Duke of Wellington and Marshal Blucher. This decisive battle of its age, it concluded a war that had raged for 23 years and ended French attempts to dominate Europe and destroyed Napoleon's imperial power forever. Another famous campaign there in the Crimea and Russia. Famous for the charge of the Light Brigade. It's amazing the amount of campaigns the regiment covered over the period of time it was formed. If you are interested in this kind of military, it's a definite must visit to see this amazing collection. Well, all these campaigns, like in Africa and Abyssinia and all these other places, which took place in the past, is controversial today to a lot of people. But it's history, and you can't change history. Well, they certainly did their part in the First World War. Some horrific battles took place at that time. Both my granddads served in the First World War, and one of them was 16 when he joined up and finished up in the Second Battle of the Somme. Thankfully, both survived. Unfortunately, my other granddad, he got gassed while in the trenches, and for the rest of his life, he always had a terrible cough. I always remember his cough when I was a kid, and that's the result of poison gas, which was used extensively in the First World War. Also, my own father and his identical twin brother both joined the RAF at the outbreak of war in 1939 in the September, and both finished up in Bomber Command. Dad flying in various aircraft. There's plenty of background information, and the narration tells us the story of some of these exhibits. This display represents a German soldier with his gas mask on. And this is the Second World War. Burma, also known as the Forgotten War. They weren't forgotten by the veterans who fought there. Really, really tough. Elizabeth's father did his bit during the Second World War also. He fought through all the North African campaigns and finished up landing at D-Day and made his way all through Europe. Fought all the battles and finished up in Hamburg, where he got demobbed in 1946.
As well.
And we are in possession of his campaign medals. The display of the Victoria Cross. Now, the Victoria Cross was introduced on the 29th of January 1856 by Queen Victoria to honour the acts of valour during the Crimean War. Traditional explanation of the source of the metal from which the medals are struck is that it derives from a Russian cannon captured at the siege of Sevastopol. and the Korean War display. This is another war
Korean
which
War,
seems to be
1952,
largely
53.
forgotten, and quite a lot of national servicemen took part in the Korean War. The National Service display, which ended in 1962, although the last recruits were discharged in 1963. More recent conflicts, thankfully, over with now. If you need more information about some of the displays, you just pick up the little headphones at the side of the displays, give you everything you need to know. Well, that was a very, very interesting collection there, and I think it's a gem of a collection, and it's definitely well worth a visit.
The gibbet, the Halifax gibbet.
And we're out in the foyer now and having a look at the Halifax gibbet, Halifax version of the guillotine, which was used at one time. Now, over in this corner is a small exhibit showing what the Cragvale coiners used and some of the original dies what they were using. It's just been shown on TV, or it even could be still be showing a drama of the coiners and what they did and how they finished up. Just having a quick look into the marble gallery, where the a selection of busts on display. It's been reorganised at the moment according to the notice board. An impressive gallery if you're interested in this kind of sculptor. And now we're just having a look in the small chapel. Some nice pictures in here, and some of them are embroidered. Not a lot of room for manoeuvring mobility scooters.
Don't be wrecking the place.
This is really a nice, peaceful little chapel if you needed to spend some time in here.
Well,
Well, we were making our way to see the toy display, but unfortunately it was out of bounds at this time. I believe it was due to some maintenance going on, so it's going to have to be another time when we see it. Well, that was our end of the look around the museum. We're just now making our way to the rear exit, so Elizabeth can get down the ramp back onto the driveway. I don't really know why we didn't visit this place before. I mean, it's not all that far away from where we live. I really enjoyed the military museum.
amazing museum. I can't believe we've missed that. I didn't even know it was so near. It's one of the best museums that we've ever been in. And, I would recommend anybody to come and see this, especially if you're into Duke of Wellington stuff. It's really interesting. Really enjoyed it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it of interest, and thank you for watching.